Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're viewing us. It's time for another edition of the Bill Crane Report. I have my good friend Dwayne Weiss here by my side.
Good morning, everybody.
And we have got quite a show for today. We've got quite a few events to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we're coming off a atrocious heat wave.
Right, yeah. Shall you, what? I would say that in the past week or 10 days, we have had more drama packed into this short space of time. Mm-hmm. Is your head still spinning? Mine is.
I just gave up.
Yeah.
I said last night, I said, I don't want to hear no more about this crap. I said, I don't want to hear another speech. I don't want to see somebody standing up there grandizing. I don't want to hear them say, well, they didn't do this, or they did this, or they did. I said, I just want to do what I want to do and just forget it. I just got filled of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because they're Republicans?
No, God, no.
Oh.
Because you're politicians.
Well,
I'm a Republican.
We're stuck with them.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking so much of that. I was thinking about, we've got a president who now is in isolation.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole story into itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to try to list what's happened here. Yep. He's gone into isolation. So he almost couldn't get up the steps of the airplane yesterday. The Speaker of the House and the Leader of the Senate, Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, have been to him. And they have said, you have got to drop out.
I don't think there's 5 people that haven't said it to him right now.
I don't think he's going to do it.
Bill, I don't know. He's stubborn as an old billy goat.
Man, did you see the television interview? That was a week and a half ago. He was so angry and so bitter.
Yeah. Oh, he's mad.
Oh, he is mad. And what happens when you get mad? You can't think clearly.
No. But you can see a deterioration in that man by the week.
Yeah.
The way he walks, the way he thinks, and he.
And you know, I blame his wife, Jill Biden.
I suspect that you're right. I suspect she doesn't want to give up the First Lady title.
The spotlight.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We might be wrong, but it makes a lot of sense.
I love my wife dearly. Mm-hmm. If something was going wrong, I would be the first one to tell her.
Oh, yeah.
She would do the same with me.
I get told daily.
But no one appears to be telling him that he's come off the rails.
I think you're right in the beginning. It was kind of iffy, and he was pushing back so hard. But then it became so apparent.
Yeah.
That I think there are some people that say, hey, somebody has to step up here and tell him or advise him. And then they got pushback that was just unbelievable.
Yeah. That TV interview, and I think it was ABC, he really started pushing back on the question.
They do a good job on interviews.
Was the first guy that in his presidency that has really asked him questions and followed up with them.
Yep.
He didn't like that one
No, he did
bit.
not. I remember that.
And since then, it's been downhill.
Yeah, I don't think he's been functional for 3 or 4 weeks now total, or well, maybe more. But
Yeah, 3 or 4 months.
maybe.
Yeah.
I think it started.
I think
it started back. It started back there.
Yeah.
When
And now, Austin, General Austin, is the chief of staff.
Yep.
He described, he couldn't think of Austin's name yesterday.
Okay.
The black man.
Yeah, he's completely.
That
Yeah,
trying to get away from labels in this country.
he's down with me now on recognizing and remembering stuff, So
I know.
I sure wouldn't want a job like that. I couldn't. There's no way I could do a job like that. I couldn't get back into corporate America today.
No.
I know I can't.
I think just the organizational skills that you need
Yep.
to, because let's face it, you and I had very similar positions.
Yep.
We were running our own business, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm making our own appointments, going and seeing our own customers and all that stuff.
We always had about 10 balls up in the air at the same time.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
had about a list of phone calls and a list of calls coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Everybody had a crisis.
Yeah, and when Jack
Oh, God.
Smith called, and you say to yourself, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Before you answer the phone, I couldn't do it. I know that.
Not anymore.
No. But this is what Biden is facing now. There's 10 balls in the air, and they're all going to hit him in the head at the same time.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be able to catch any of them.
Everybody's got a due date or a termination date.
Now he's a can of mushroom soup, is he?
Well, everybody has a best before date,
Yeah.
and it's just that simple. And everybody's date's different, and it comes up on you different. My mobility has come. Due date has come due,
Oh,
and it came fast.
yeah.
Within a few months, I went from going wherever I want to do to, do I have to climb 2 flights of stairs now? Like we go to bed now at night, and I said, well, I got to climb the mountain.
Yeah.
And I said the other day, I said, I used to laugh at these acorn stair lift things. They're not so funny anymore. or the chairs, the recliners that help you get up.
Help you get
We
up.
just bought 2 new recliners, and I refused. I looked at some at the store, and I said, "No, I'm not getting one of those."
They're expensive.
Yeah, they are. And my thing is too that any kind of conveyance that you've got, that the more complicated you make it, the more things going to break.
Sure.
That's
Absolutely. No question about that. And what happens if you got it at full mast
Somebody
and
said
they
that-
lose the power? Well, that baby will just be up there forever.
somebody's got one. He says, "I worry about that every time I move it up. It's
Yeah.
going to bust, and I'm going to be hanging up here and can't get out of it."
The aging process is an
What?
ugly thing.
It is. I remember my grandfather used to call me Wayne. He hated Dwayne, so he always called me Wayne.
So,
Don't get old, he kept telling me.
Susie's father used to preach to me, Billy, don't get old.
Yep.
You're not going
Gonna
to
like it. That's exactly what he used to say. I would go, yeah.
Yeah, I know it. Oh, I know what he's talking about now.
Yeah.
So,
But back to
so
Biden.
you're Joe Biden now,
Yeah.
and Jill Biden, and I'm not sure, but probably Obama. And you're sitting down, and you're saying, Joe, what the hell are you going to do? And he says, I'm going to fight. I'm going to keep going. And they have to say to him, your batteries are dead, man.
Yeah. And I would have thought that when they appealed to him, that it's best for the country, not for you.
He seems to have confused those two things.
Yeah, he's got that. he got quite. I want to self-centered. I'm not. That's not the word either.
He became very adamant about his role.
Yeah.
Like without saying it, I am the stick that stirs the drink.
Yeah, as if he was the key person in the government. And presidents never are. They think
No.
they are.
No, you're absolutely right.
They're just somebody that turns the switch in the morning. But
That's right.
everything else is mechanical for them.
So he says to this group, how is this all going to work? Do you want me to go before the American public and say, Father Time has done something?
Yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
I cannot fight any longer. I'm diminished in my ability to do the job. I love the job. I love the American people. And it's for that reason I'm forcing myself to step down.
No one that I know of in this country, was it LBJ that said, I am not going to run. I won't run. Even if I'm nominated, I won't accept it. Nobody said, oh, what a traitor. Oh, my God. They said I thought that was very big of him to step up and say, I'm done.
Yeah, because he could have kept on fighting.
Oh, yeah, he could have got to get it.
I don't know whether he could have got reelected, though.
Yeah, but he could have messed up the whole process.
You know, Vietnam was roaring
Yeah.
at that point. But he was still functional.
Yeah. And he wanted out of it. So
Yeah,
and
that's
if
right.
he wants out, he's not going to be a good leader. He's not going to do the job the way he should do. And I think it was admirable of him to step up and say, that's it. I'm going to turn it over to somebody else.
So Biden, I don't think Biden so much as Jill Biden, Obama, and a couple of the other really close advisors have got to say,
Yeah.
are we going from bad to worse if you do this? Because Kamala Harris becomes president. Now, I don't think there's two people in Washington that are really thrilled with the idea of her becoming president.
No. That's true, too.
And
I think that's one of the things that's holding some people back.
Yeah.
It's the fact that Kamala is sitting in the wings.
Yeah. She's scary.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of them are scary now.
Yeah. I got a squirrel running around my front yard. I think it's got more sense sometimes than her.
I call her Giggles.
Yeah, Giggles. Yeah. Someone called her Laughing Harris,
Yeah,
I think
that's a
was
good
what
one,
they
too.
said. But so that presents a big problem. So what the devil does he do? And I think he's hanging on by his fingernails.
Oh, absolutely. I think day to day.
Yeah.
I actually thought, and I said when I didn't hear it in the news. I have Alexa, the thing, and she's tuned to CNN and Fox. And when one or the other breaks or both breaks, then she has this that she just announces it. And she announced that Biden had been diagnosed positive for COVID. I said to Monica, he may have, but maybe he hasn't. Maybe this is a way of graciously saying, I have COVID, I cannot go on.
He's going out the back door.
Yeah, it's a way of saying, I want to stay, I should stay, but I can't.
Because this is the fourth time I've had this damn thing,
Yeah.
and each time I'm weaker. And you know what? The American people,
Would accept
by
that.
and large, are a very forgiving
Oh, yeah,
people. They would accept that in a heartbeat.
sure.
Yeah.
But I
And-
didn't hear anything afterward. I thought, the next day this is going to,
Yeah.
that was the day before yesterday. I thought, well, maybe it'll come out today that he's not going to. I don't know what the status is now. I haven't paid any attention to the news.
Well, I'm not sure what his status exactly is right now, because I've been sort of listening to other stuff. But somebody said this morning, and I couldn't catch who it was, a talking head.
Okay.
If he says he can't run, if he's not up to being president, how can he remain president for the last 6 months?
Yeah, can't.
No. And so he can't excuse his behavior by saying, look, I'm just not up to flying around the country anymore and all. And the question then becomes, well, how the hell can you be president?
Yeah.
If you can't, you know? So he hasn't said that. But
travel takes a lot out of you. It takes
Yeah,
a
it
lot.
does.
Even his kind of travel, where it's everything is he, all that is just walk up, sit down, and somebody takes care of everything for him. It still takes a lot out of you.
it does. It does. Well, so we've got 109 days to the election. We have the president with COVID, and we have the Republican convention winding down tonight with the acceptance
Tonight's the
speech.
last night.
Yeah. I think President Trump goes on at 9 o'clock, I
Okay.
think. I know it starts at 7. So, quite frankly, I don't expect much more tonight than what we've seen and what we've heard all along.
There's no surprises.
No, no. It's an open book. But they say that his speech has been rewritten. He rewrote it himself. It's a lot more conciliatory.
I saw that.
And if that's true, that's the most wonderful thing that could
That
ever
would be
happen.
good. That would be solve a lot of problems. I saw
Yep.
last night, or not this morning, and I haven't read the whole thing, but the headlines is something about they were going to be conciliatory, but I guess somebody last night started the bitching and the whining and the pointing the fingers and throwing the bombs again. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had to, right the next day, she had to start throwing her.
You know, she should be put away someplace.
I don't know who can take that woman serious.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of a district
who
elects
would
somebody
elect her?
like that? Ay, ay, ay.
German or the Jewish lasers starting to fire from space in California. Come on, lady.
Oh, God. So, we have this all happening, but the backdrop is the attempted assassination.
Yep.
Now,
Bill, I'm going to tell you something. I'm surprised it didn't come before. The way the country is divided, and I'm really surprised there was nothing on Biden so
Yeah.
far. I would have, if somebody said, "What's the odds of either Trump having a shot at him or Biden having a shot at him?" I said 80-20, maybe
Yeah.
85-15.
yeah, I probably would have been closer to 50-50 because the left is every bit as radical as the right.
That's right. You got the
I think, and you've
wackadoodles
got,
on both sides. That's
well,
the whole point.
We're an equal hatred country. I mean, we can hate, you know, left-handed and right-handed.
That's right.
But this, I'm not sure that I'm even comfortable talking about this because it's still a shifting sea of sand.
That's
But
all right.
now they're talking about the fact that they knew a half an hour in advance this nut was walking around with a rifle. Now, how the hell can that be?
I'm going to tell you something. And what I'm going to say may or may not apply today. Back 50-some years ago, 1968, I think it would have been. I don't know when that. I don't know how many years that is, but anyway, I'm getting like Biden. I don't know how long. I worked with the Secret Service on Rockefeller's short presidential campaign, and it was not. I did get the I was the military liaison for the. They call them districts, and they have a political district. And it was Ohio, part of Pennsylvania. I think that was the two part. It was that chunk anyway. When they're in your district, somebody gets assigned to the Secret Service.
The body.
Yeah. Supposedly and there's a lot of us. There was support from who knows who anymore. But you got to go with them. You got to travel with them, and you got to see the operations going in. And they would kind of tell you, all right, just go stand over there and stay out of the way. 'Cause that's what they wanted you anyway. But anyway, I knew this already and then, that the coordination between agencies was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. It came to roost on 9/11. Group A could not contact Group B, Group B could not contact C and D, C, D. It's still, from what I read, they have not resolved that particular problem.
Yeah.
Now, I know for a fact then, and what I've read now too, is that Secret Service, when they go into an operation like that, has a channel on that radio that nobody is to step into it. You don't, if your pants were on fire, you can't say, hey, my pants is on fire. That's exclusively there for that purpose, for protection of the president.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if somebody detonated an atomic bomb down the street, you're not to get into there. You got your own channels. But their channels don't hook into the Secret Service channels.
Sure.
Now, if you had an assassin or a sniper on a building like what they did that far away, and he was seen, that was out of the Secret Service area of operations. That was local. That was across the line. And boy, these guys are strictlers on where that line is. This building's yours, this one's mine, this one belongs to the sheriff, this one belongs to the local police department. You don't touch anything else. If they saw somebody on that roof, they could contact Secret Service only by going through a channel to Washington, D.C., to some bureaucrats, through other bureaucrats. They would have to circle all the way back to some supervisor here. I mean, we're talking an hour and a half to get back. That's how foolish this stuff is.
Yeah. You could see that. The first reports that came in, as you were watching this on TV, they had the guy that was the head of the FBI contingency.
Yep.
And he said, look, this is the Secret Service's deal. I'm just observing. I have nothing to do with this. That question is out of bounds. Take it to the Secret Service.
That's right. He can't even comment.
No.
No.
Instead of saying, we're working together on no. This is my territory.
Absolutely.
You take a hike. And that is wrong.
Of course it is. Bill, it violated common sense 50 years ago.
Does.
And today it's unbelievable. I can't understand it yet today.
It's madness.
I thought after 9/11 they would have got rid of that total complete, but it's not. Right. They say they did. But there's no integration in the communications.
Right.
And if somebody, one division sees a guy up on the roof with camos on and a sniper rifle laying there, the assumption is he's sheriff's office or he's state police.
Right.
But you can't call
and find out. You got a man on the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can eventually, but an hour and a half later they say, no, he's not ours. Well, then it's too late.
Yeah, he's shot up the place. Yeah. Oh, well, it is. It is absolute madness.
You're going to find out. I think you're going to find out when dust all settles that chaos reigned again.
Of course. Yeah, and boy, I'll tell you, the director of Secret Service is running scared.
Yep.
She is. This is not the time to talk about that. I'm not talking about that. I can't talk about this. That was the interview with her. She comes from, actually, Jill Biden is the one that got Joe to hire her. I guess that's the story this morning. But you know, they were talking this morning, and I'm saying to myself, are they going to now push this off to someone else? Because they had a former Secret Service guy who said that the sniper is green light all the time. And if he sees a possible threat, he does not have to call anyone.
That's right.
He shoots. This guy didn't.
I don't think he knew he was a sniper, quite frankly. I believe he's going to come. What you're going to find out is if the Secret Service snipers, they had a couple of them behind, they saw this guy. He's plain sight.
Yeah.
But they obviously assume, well, that's the sheriff's office sniper, or that's the state police guy. Because you can't tell 400 yards away who the hell it is. He's not wearing a sign.
Now, of course, they would. Now they get telescopes on those rifles.
But you can't tell who he is. He doesn't have a. They wouldn't shoot him because they didn't know it. Once he fired a shot, then all bets were off.
Yeah. Well, the point he was making was the sniper is green light to make the decision that is a threat.
Yeah, but if he doesn't see it as a threat yet,
he
doesn't know that friend or foe, that was the problem here.
Yeah. This is a massive screw up.
Oh.
We'll find more and more.
Another thing, you brought up a point, and I always shuddered with this in politics. It's so much who you know, not what you know. These guys get appointed to cabinet positions, key positions, don't know their left hand from the right hand about that business. You know, mostly now, at least our Secretary of Defenses have had some knowledge, but there's been Secretary of Defense who've never been in the service.
No, I know it.
They don't know anything about this. So you get a Secretary of Transportation, he's never even been on a bus in his life. He always had somebody drive him around in a limo. We've had Secretary of Agriculture that couldn't tell you how the hell to grow anything. I remember, I don't want to diverse here, but this one was years ago, and it was funny. It was funny, sad. One of the Secretary, Undersecretary of Agriculture, and I don't know who, this was probably 30, 40 years ago, was an appointed, obviously, had no knowledge of agriculture, food production, agricultural things whatsoever. Stepped off a plane in Iowa in December or January, looked around, and saw all this snowbound or frozen land, and said, shouldn't they be growing something on all this land? It looks like it's vacant. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, he doesn't even know it. You don't grow crops in the dead of the winter. That's the kind of personnel that gets appointed to these jobs.
That political appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is amazing. You look at here in the state of Massachusetts, the bozos they appoint
Oh my God.
to jobs, and they turn out to be totally inept.
Yep.
And everybody says, "Well, who possibly could have known that?" You
Yeah.
know.
Oh, boy.
Man. By the way, it also looks, in talking to his parents, they suspected something was up too.
Did they?
Yeah.
But he didn't have any record they could trace. And I think.
No record at all. In fact, he was the most understated young man you'd ever expect. He did nothing in school. He did nothing after school. He had no social life. And he was bullied. And they said, the people they interviewed, the kids they interviewed, he was a loner. Well, when you're bullied and beat up and ignored.
You tend to be a loner. Then.
Yeah, you tend to be a loner.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. I mean, and you know the sad part about this? Nobody wants to be seen with a loner.
Yeah.
When you're in high school.
Yeah. Oh, they're so status conscious, these kids. And
my first day down at Walpole High School, when we, in Norfolk, we didn't have a high school, so we went to Walpole. Okay. So my first day in Walpole, I went to the cafeteria and got my lunch, and I'm looking around the tables, and there's people chatting, blah, 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 over here. And I'm looking for kids from Norfolk. I didn't see anybody immediately, but I did see a table for 6 or 8 people, and there was 2 or 3 there.
Yeah.
So I went over and I sat down. Later, one of the Walpole kids said to me, "Hey, you're new here." I said, "In Norfolk, yeah." He said, "Oh, here's a tip for you. Don't sit with them. Those are the weirdos. We don't have anything to do with them." So,
how big was that school or that high school, do you think?
Well, we were 28 kids, the 8th grade, going down to Walpole. And I'd say we got outnumbered down there probably 8 or 9 to 1.
Yeah, so it was a big, you see, I went to high school. We had 28 in the whole class in high school, senior class. And you didn't get that cliquishness.
Well,
but there was two or three groups, but they weren't cliquey with each other. You know, there was a group of girls that were kind of like hung around with the guys that had fancy cars, and they were 22, 23, and they could buy booze and stuff. And then there was another group that were the studious, quiet ones, and then there were the outlaws like I was hanging around with, that girls didn't want to be seen in public with. You know, but there was an interaction between the groups too. It was not strictly. There was no divisions like that.
In Norfolk now, I had been with those kids from the 1st grade to the 8th grade. So I knew every one of them closely, you know. Then you dumped into Walpole and it's all new faces. So I didn't see how somebody could become a loner and stay a loner. Because all you need is one person to say one story about you.
That's right.
Yeah, and hands off him. Don't do them. Yeah. Oh, really? Huh? Oh, okay. The communications, you've talked about that. Get the Secret Service, the FBI, local police, state police. You probably got county police.
Oh, don't forget the county's big deal there. They have county sheriffs.
Yeah, the sheriffs, right.
They're bigger than the local police.
Yeah, the local police are the town. The county
city itself
is the sheriffs.
In the city limits, that's the police. Unlike here, once you go out of the city limits, the boundary, you're in no man's land, where somebody's township or something is called.
But so you can understand why the communications was broken down, if you will. The question is, in my mind, and I'll come back to this again. Okay, the shooter is zeroed in. Why does the sniper have to wait until the shooter shoots first? Because according to the Secret Service man that talked on TV yesterday, he doesn't have to wait. If he thinks that's a threat,
if he thinks there's a threat,
that he is green-lighted.
That's right. But here's the case. A sniper. How do you tell the difference between a sniper getting ready to shoot or an assassin getting ready to shoot, or an authorized sniper that's laying there, that's got his rifle all sighted in, ready to go? There's
Yeah, especially the kid is in camo.
yeah.
You can say, well, he wasn't in a police uniform. But
Most of them aren't. In that case, those SWAT teams and stuff.
I know it would have been tough
Yeah.
to pull the trigger
Even though
because you could end up in jail.
oh yeah, I was gonna say even green lighted today. Somebody's coming after you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. Bet
Yeah, I mean, you could have lawsuits hung on you
Oh,
for
yeah.
the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. And these guys are aware of that today.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
We need better guidelines.
Yeah, we need to define guidelines where they're actually and they're enforced. That's
Yeah.
the problem is that they.
That's enforcement. Yes, you're
Because-
absolutely right.
What happens is that the powers to be, the secretary, the undersecretary, the manager, the whatever their title are, start bailing.
Is
Not
they're
my-
politicians.
not my fault.
Yeah,
Hey, he
So-
authorized it.
that's right. So we've got to talk about this and do something about it, it seems to me. I thought we'd start off, well, actually, I won't break precedent. We'll have the either or.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather have a pit bull or a poodle?
Poodle.
Me too, they're intelligent.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're very smart dogs.
Rice or pasta?
Pasta. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Yeah. Go bowling or go to an arcade?
Well, one time go bowling, but
Yeah.
maybe today an arcade. I had a
Or stay home?
yeah. I mean, if I want to walk the next day,
Spend 7 hours in a car or 7 hours in a plane?
car,
Car, me too.
because you can stop, get out.
Get out, hit squirt land,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
a cup of coffee.
That's right.
Yeah. Give up candy or give up coffee?
Oh, geez. Coffee. Oh, no, candy.
Yeah. I would give up candy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like fudge.
Do you?
Yeah, Watson's or there's a couple of candy shops down
I don't
Walpole
know.
that have been doing it for 100
Okay.
years. Furlongs is the other one since the 20s.
Yeah, one fudge that I really, really liked. That I never was much for fudge because it's so, to me, it's overly sweet. It's, hit you in the face sweet. There was a candy company in Easton, right up by Stonehill. They've been there for 100 years. And Monica brought back some, one day from there, some peanut butter fudge. That was delicious.
Whoa.
And it wasn't overly sweet, but that other than that, I can't. I don't know. I don't have any remembrance of any fudge that I really cared for. My mother, of course, they all in those days they all did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then they wonder why they're all diabetic.
Back in the old days.
Yeah.
Raise funds via a car wash or a bake sale.
Oh, car wash,
Yep. Listen to country music or show tunes.
country music.
Yep. Go to the library or go to a concert.
Library now.
Yeah, me too.
Years ago, they would probably would have a few concerts. I would have went
But
to.
concerts are so damn loud.
Loud and
you know what? They may sing 2 good songs and
Yeah.
you got to listen to 11 bad ones.
Us being the cantankerous old fart that I'm turning
Yeah.
into, I don't have patience with the crowds anymore. I
I
don't
know.
have patience with the traffic,
I know.
the
I know.
lines, and all that stuff. I just
Do you know that well, I shouldn't say I'm buried with offers, but people have said to me, can you use a couple of tickets for the Patriots next weekend? I can't go. Dwayne, I would rather fill my own teeth,
then
than
put up
to
with that.
go up, to drive up there,
Exactly.
and then afterwards try to get the hell out of there.
That's right.
And put up with a bunch of drunken yahoos.
Yep.
No, I'm too old for that crap. Watch news on TV or read the newspaper.
I gotta say newspapers now.
Yeah, me too. And I'll tell you why. If you're watching TV and there's a bird at the bird feeder and you missed it. But you can go back and reread the newspaper.
Yeah, and you can. I don't know. I like the news online too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you get the same story with 4 different sources and 4 different spins on it.
Yeah. Read a novel or a non-fiction book?
If I had the druthers and the pick of the litter, I'll take the nonfiction.
Yeah.
And you got me into novels. For years I had hardly touched, unless it was Stephen King or somebody like that. I never considered a Stanford or Conley, or I didn't even know who the hell they were. I didn't pay attention to them. Now I really enjoy them.
Well, I'll tell you what. Stay tuned because there's more coming.
All right.
Grow sunflowers or roses?
Oh boy. I've tried both, and it was abject failure on both of them. Completely failed. I bought rose bushes one time. They were about this big, and I must have bought half a dozen of them because I had this envision over here by the driveway was going to be old roses. And within 3 days, there was nothing left but stubs. One year I planted these, they were called giant sunflowers. These things that 8-10 feet tall. I nourished them in little cups in the house. And I babied them. I said, oh boy, I had them about that big. I planted them up. They lasted one night. The next morning there was a damn thing left. Something
the deer
ate every damn one of them.
Yep.
I said, and it wasn't the fact that I only had a pack of seeds in them, at the 89 cents. But was digging those damn holes around here with all the rocks.
They were your babies.
Then I had to fill the holes in up with potting soil and stuff. I worked all afternoon getting those things out of there, and they lasted one damn night.
My brother and I, when we were, 10 or 12, 13, whatever, we would plant sunflowers. And we'd see who gets the highest sunflowers. Yeah. We had a hurricane come through. We had beauties. I mean, ours were taller than we were.
Why did you keep the animals away from them?
They didn't come. I don't know. We had them in the front yard.
Oh.
And whoomph, the hurricane knocked them all down. They were all dead. We went out and tried to prop them up. That didn't work. But I've had no success after that. The woodchucks wiped out my last sunflower attempt about 3 years ago. I said, I'm going to.
I did get a sunflower one year.
Oh, yeah.
It was under the bird feeder. So apparently one of those seeds fell down. It germinated. It got about that big before somebody ate it.
Eat a donut or a bagel?
Is this singular or plural?
Yeah.
I can't eat a donut.
But
I probably can't eat a bagel if it's toasted with cream cheese.
Yeah.
Donuts got to be donuts.
Yeah.
As in 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I like donuts.
I love them both.
Work at a fast food restaurant or a bookstore?
Oh, bookstore.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, fast foods.
Yeah, that's too.
You have to put up with customers.
That's right.
And some of them are demanding, some of them are weird.
Yep.
Boy. I've got something important to talk about.
All right.
But I got a couple of notes here.
Okay,
so,
I got one here.
Ford announced this morning or yesterday that their new plant in Canada that was going to be for EVs only canceled.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there.
And they announced they will move Super Duty trucks up there.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, if the election goes the way it looks like it may go, that's a wise decision, because I'll read something to you.
On that same token, I just saw that Hertz, who's owned by, I think, Penske, experimented with Teslas as on the rental business. And I saw that last year when we went to Minneapolis. They had, and even in Minneapolis, they had probably 100 Teslas lined up to rent. Well, they're getting Hertz is getting out of that business too.
Yes.
He's sitting with 9,000 used Teslas. And now the Tesla lowered the price and all that other stuff. The prices come down. He's taking a bath with them. You can't get anybody to buy them, or anybody that
sell them for scrap metal.
They don't know what they're going to do with it. Yeah. He's losing millions upon millions of dollars on them. They said because the car rental business survives on residual sale.
Yeah.
After they've rented that car for a year or two, a year and a half, it's how much value that has still in it. That says that they make it or break it, and they're not
it's
doing
interesting too, because the rental companies seem to have a little different idea. Now, one says at 28,000 miles it goes. Another one says no, it's 35,000, and another one says 40,000. Yeah. Now, they all have their model, their profit models. I don't see how it can be that different, but I guess it can.
Today, you with the consolidation of these, there's so many companies that are the same company now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I've always used Hertz, and I used Alamo. And Alamo was part of National. They're together. Oh. There's a couple more together in that group.
Yeah.
The last time I used Alamo, they were a lot cheaper yet than National, but the cars had higher mileage.
Yeah.
If you went down the Alamo Road, they had 30, 40, 50,000 miles on some of them, where the Nationals still were, like you said, 12,000, 15,000, 8,000 miles.
I rented exclusively National.
Yeah.
And I got points from National Car Rental because I achieved a certain mileage amount each year. Do you know that when I retired, I cashed in my points? I never touched them.
You could cash them in?
Yeah.
Wow.
You had the cash option.
Mm-hmm.
I got $3,200.
It was worth going to National.
I guess it was. I liked it too because they had the aisle. And you could pick anything in the aisle you wanted.
They were one of the first ones to do that. Now they all do that.
And I was in the select tier at the top. I could pick any model.
I remember the first time that I think it was Alamo did that you could have anything you want.
Yeah.
Anything? Anything in those two rows. All right.
Yeah.
10 bill.
The thing was, the big thing with National, I could take the Cadillac or the Lincoln Town Car and pay the mid-size price. Yeah, that was the big hook.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention this guy's name.
Okay.
It's a letter to the editor. And he's talking about Haley for vice president. It's interesting that former President Trump seems more interested in his own legacy than actually winning the election for president. The best potential VP is not even on his short list, that being Nikki Haley. And we just went, and then blah, 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 blah. The last paragraph. She would help more than a man with Trump's women issues, which will be important in the vice presidential debate. She also matches Kamala Harris as a woman of color.
That's a stretch there. But
That is the stupidest damn thing for someone to say.
Yeah.
What a moron. We're trying to get away from
No, we're not.
hiring by skin color.
not in a
We're
certain
not.
group. We're not.
We're not. No, allegedly we're trying, and there's been some progress,
Well,
but not much. But to come out and say this,
Yeah.
you know, I wonder what his neighbors.
When somebody said about Haley being a woman of color, I thought, what the hell are they talking about?
She's Indian.
Yeah, one part of her parents came
Yeah.
from India or something.
Yeah.
Well, geez, I said, this is getting to be like Elizabeth Warren and an Indian.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how far back you want to go here? Or how minuscule do you want to be as colored? And what the hell is colored anyway?
Yeah. Why this guy would choose
I don't
to
know.
end his article like I just said to myself, that guy's gonna be the stupidest clown in the world.
I didn't know Giggles was colored either. I didn't.
She's
There's something I forgot what that sure came.
has a Jamaican.
I don't know. Probably some.
Someplace down in the islands,
Okay.
and there's a black person and a white person. There's like four she's got
Okay.
in the blender.
The blender.
But you know what? Now I tell you what. In all honesty, I have never considered her a minority.
No, neither one of them.
No, I mean, this is the melting pot here.
Yeah, I'm not sure
mean-
what a minority is anymore. 'Cause
I know.
You look at the term. You know, now they say a majority minority, a minority majority.
Yeah.
That's double talk, double speak. That's all that is.
I got one more EV thing for you.
Okay.
Reliability of public EV charging system in the U.S. by a Harvard University study indicates 78% are functional, 22% are out of order when you go to use them.
Well, at one point, and this was early, of course, but this Mass Pike had, I think, 9 of them. Every damn one of them was broke.
Yeah. How can you possibly compete? Well,
You can't.
You can't.
You
can't.
You can't take a basic technology as big as transportation or electrification versus internal combustion and change something that 100 years, change it overnight. And it's so big, you can't do it just by saying we're going to do it.
and convenience. You've got a gas station on every damn corner in America.
That's right.
You pull in and you gas up.
Yep.
I mean, this is, well, I really and truly believe that this year will probably be the high water mark for electric vehicles.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think what's going to happen is that they jumped into this thing. Everybody was getting on a bandwagon there, and all of a sudden they thought, "Oh my God, we jumped into a shark pool here." And it's going to slide way back. It's going to start over again. This time, I think it's going to slowly. It'll probably come about, but it's going to grow the way it should have been grown, little bit every year. Technology will advance. The infrastructure will get built.
They'll come up with smaller, lighter batteries.
Yeah, the battery.
And I'll tell you what, Dwayne, I would consider buying one. I'm never going to buy a new car again, but if I were, I would consider buying one if you gave me a 600-mile range.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want to have a 280-mile range. and then be constantly looking at the dashboard and saying, where the hell is the next charging station?
See, that's the whole point. I could live with a 200 mile, I could live with a 250 mile range.
Yeah.
If I knew it was like a gas station.
Exactly.
I could get off at the next exit and go in. They would plug it in, and it was not 2 hours. I mean, 5 or 10 minutes, sort of like, like fill up your tank and stuff. I would have no problem with that at all.
I think that you're absolutely right. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board, because I'll tell you what Trump is going to do. He's going to cancel all the mandates.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be any more $7,500 payments to rich people for buying
That's exactly
these.
what it is. That's what it came out to be. You're supplementing somebody who doesn't need to be supplemented, because that car is either a status symbol or a toy for them.
Yep. Karen Reed is selling her house.
Monica just said that. She had this morning in the paper. Are you going to buy it? I asked her how much she wants. She said she thought it said 800 and something.
Oh, I don't even know what the house looks like.
Well, the Chronicle had two, Bill. The Chronicle had 4 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms instead of 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. They had it kind of mixed up.
Kind of mixed.
I think it's a colonial of some type.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to go take a ride over there and check it out.
I can make an offer.
Yeah. What state pays the second highest electricity bills in the U.S.?
Probably Massachusetts.
I don't know how you
because you would have brought it up
otherwise. It's Massachusetts at an average cost of $158 per account.
Our electricity is expensive. Everything here is expensive, and that's what worries me, is these stupid, and I call them stupid, mandates that all new buildings will be electrified.
Yeah.
No gas, no nothing else, fuel oil. They have to be electric. Who asked the electric company if they're going to be able to handle this? And they say once in a while, we don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, and if the wind isn't blowing, or if the sun isn't out, well, we may have a problem at peak times.
They got a bigger basic problem. They can't shove that many kilowatts down that wire yet.
Yeah.
Even if they had unlimited generation, they can't deliver it.
Well, and also not that, but we're bringing all the assembly of different electronic parts, high-tech stuff, back to the U.S. And it is absolutely has intensive amounts of electricity is required
That's right.
for these semiconductors and stuff like that. Where are the power companies going to get the power?
Yeah.
We shut the coal-fired plants down, and now they want to shut the natural gas plants down. And I'll tell you, if everything turns out the way it should, Governor Healy better have her resume ready.
Oh, I think it's ready.
Yeah, because she's going to be on the outside looking in. Can you imagine her going down with a team of 5 people to the border to re-educate or to educate the people on the border what a problem you are being to Massachusetts?
She's not the governor. She's the secretary of some division in waiting.
Why they didn't throw her into the Rio Grande River is beyond me. Anyway, are we set for our break?
Andrew's getting nervous out there.
Folks, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more good stuff.